May 1812, France, the Palace of Saint-Cloud near Paris. Only 1 month remains before the Grand Army invades Russia. Emperor Napoleon is confident in his triumph. He has already gathered 600,000 soldiers ready to cross the Neman River. His plan is to crush the Russian border forces, take Moscow, and dictate peace terms to Alexander I. He does not yet know that Borodino will become the grave of his guard. He does not know that Moscow will burn, because a force is about to vmешаться in history, a force that should not exist here. In the royal park, among the blooming chestnut trees, a group of special operations forces of the Russian Federation is inserted. 5 shadows. Call signs: Wolf, Tiger, Thunder, Engineer, and Sniper. Their mission is to alter the timeline, to capture Napoleon before the order to advance is given. The conditions are harsh: no support, no evacuation, only what they carry on their shoulders. And on their shoulders, 35 kilograms of 21st century technology, Ratnik combat gear, 6th class body armor plates capable of stopping a point-blank machine gun burst, helmets with active headsets and 4th generation thermal imagers. For the French sentry in a blue uniform standing at the gate with a musket, the night is complete darkness. He can see no farther than 5 steps ahead, where the faint light of a lantern trembles. For the group's sniper, lying 100 meters away in the wet grass, the night is transparent. His scope sees heat. He can see the hot blood pulsing inside the sentry's body. In the sniper's hands is a Ventores rifle, caliber 9 by 39 millimeters. A heavy 16-gram bullet flies slower than sound. No crack, no flash. The sniper gently squeezes the trigger, a quiet metallic click. But the soldiers of the 21st century are faster. 2 suppressed bursts from the Wolf's rifle, 3 short shots from Tiger. The confined corridor fills with dull thuds, as if someone were striking heavy carpets with a stick. The grenadiers collapse before they even understand what is happening. The officer tries to shout, but a bullet tears through his chest, throwing him back against a gilded mirror. The mirror shatters, scattering fragments of reflected candlelight across the marble floor. Silence returns. Only the smell of gunpowder, strange and unfamiliar to this century, lingers in the air. The group moves forward. According to the palace layout obtained from historical archives, Napoleon's private chambers are 2 galleries ahead, beyond the Hall of Mars. Time is critical. Every minute increases the risk that the morning changing of the guard will begin. They advance in a tight formation. Sniper covers the rear. Engineer scans for obstacles. Thunder leads. Another staircase. Another corridor. Paintings in golden frames watch them from the walls. Frozen faces of aristocrats who will never know that history is being rewritten in these very seconds. Suddenly, voices. Behind a tall double door comes the sound of conversation, laughter, the clink of glass. Napoleon is awake. Thunder raises his fist. The group freezes. Wolf carefully places a small fiber optic camera under the door crack. The tablet screen shows the room inside, maps spread across a large table, candles, officers in uniforms, and in the center, a short man in a gray coat with his hands behind his back. Napoleon Bonaparte, alive, calm, confident, still believing the world belongs to him. Thunder whispers into the headset. Objective confirmed. Wood paneling burst into the air as bullets chew through doors, columns, and carved banisters. The palace is no longer a place of luxury. It turns into a killing zone. The French soldiers keep pouring into the corridors, driven by discipline and confusion. They still try to fight the way they were taught, to form ranks, to aim together, to fire on command. But against automatic weapons, this doctrine collapses in seconds. Thunder throws a flash grenade around the corner. A blinding burst of white light floods the hallway. Even through closed eyelids, it burns like the sun. For men who have never seen electricity, the effect is overwhelming. They scream, drop their muskets, clutch their faces, stumbling blindly into each other. The group does not slow down. Short bursts, controlled fire, movement without stopping. 3 halls left. 2. The sound of drums and shouting grows louder behind them. The entire garrison is awake now. Thousands of boots thunder across marble floors. Officers shout orders no one can fully hear. Ahead, the double doors to the Hall of Mars. Behind those doors, Napoleon. A solid wall of men in blue uniforms. The corridor behind is packed shoulder to shoulder. The French no longer try to form ranks. They simply push forward, driven by numbers, rage, and fear. Bayonets, sabers, musket stocks, anything that can be used as a weapon. The operators understand the situation instantly. This is no longer a firefight. This is a countdown. Wolf checks his last magazine. Thunder shouts the distance to the Hall of Mars, less than 50 meters. Forward! Break through! They surge ahead. Single shots now, careful, precise. Every trigger pull must count. Every bullet must stop a man. Engineer, his arm half numb from the blow, switches to his sidearm. Short, sharp reports echo through the shattered gallery. Sniper covers the flank with his pistol, firing calmly, methodically, as if on a range. But the pressure keeps building. The French are close enough now to see faces through the masks. Close enough to swing steel. A bayonet scrapes across Tiger's armor plate with a screech like metal on stone. Another soldier grabs the barrel of Wolf's rifle. Wolf fires point blank. The body drops, but another immediately takes his place. They reach the doors of the Hall of Mars, massive, carved, closed. Thunder doesn't hesitate. He kicks them open with all the force left in his body. The doors burst inward, candlelight, maps, officers, and Napoleon. With the butt of the musket he took from the corridor. The man crashes to the floor. Thunder meets another attacker head-on. Steel rings against steel as the captured saber collides with a curved blade. The impact numbs his wrist, but he steps inside the arc and drives his shoulder forward, knocking the Mamluk off balance. Engineer, breathing hard, moves past them toward the center of the room. Napoleon stands by the fireplace, sword in hand. His eyes move quickly, taking in the impossible sight before him. Warriors in strange armor, faces hidden, fighting like ghosts from another world. For a moment, time seems to stop. This is the man they came for. Wolf steps between Napoleon and the chaos. He drops the musket, draws his knife, and advances carefully. Napoleon raises his blade, assuming a fencing stance. He is not a soldier by trade, but he knows how to hold a weapon. His expression is not fear. It is calculation. Wolf doesn't attack. Instead, he speaks through the mask in calm, measured French. Your war ends here. Napoleon hesitates. Just for a second. That second is enough. Thunder and Engineer disarm the remaining guards. Tiger, exhausted and covered in dust and blood, blocks the doorway with an overturned table. The room falls into heavy silence, broken only by strained breathing. The mission objective stands before them. Alive, with a sharp strike of the Kevlar helmet straight into his face. The special operators win not with weapons, but with raw ferocity, speed, and perfect teamwork. The last Mamluk falls, pierced by a captured bayonet. Napoleon is left alone. He makes a swift thrust with his rapier, aiming for the commander's throat. It is the move of a trained fencer, elegant and deadly, but the commander simply catches the blade with his left hand in a tactical glove. The Kevlar insert in the palm is sliced open, blood runs, but he holds the steel in an iron grip, not letting it pull free. A sharp yank. Napoleon loses his balance and falls forward. A short, brutal strike with the rifle stock to the jaw. The Emperor of France, the conqueror of Europe, drops onto the carpet like a sack of potatoes. Objective secured, the commander rasps. Out through the window. Below, in the palace courtyard, thousands of soldiers are already gathering. The entire square is filled with torches. They are bringing assault ladders, dragging artillery into position. There is no way back through the corridors. A wall of enraged enemies stands there. The group blocks the bedroom door with a heavy oak wardrobe. It will buy them 3 minutes before the guards smash it apart with axes. They bind Napoleon's hands with plastic restraints and pull a thick sack over his head. Engineer kicks out the frame of the enormous window. 4th floor. No ropes. They tear down the heavy velvet curtains with golden tassels and tie them together with tight knots into a single long line. Tiger, the strongest of the group, hoists the valuable package over his shoulder. The others cover the retreat, holding empty, captured muskets like clubs. They begin descending the palace wall under the shouting of the crowd below. French soldiers raise their rifles, preparing to fire at the figures hanging from the curtains. At that moment, the sniper on the roof of the orangery goes back to work. He has been silent for the last 10 minutes, saving his precious magazine. Now he spends the rounds with surgical precision, picking off the officers trying to shout the command to fire. The panic below gives the group a few seconds of life. They touch the ground and run into the saving darkness of the park, carrying on their shoulders the man who intended to burn Moscow. The forest swallows them. By morning, they will reach the extraction point where a temporal rift will open. Mission accomplished. History changed forever. The War of 1812 will never happen. Borodino will never take place. Moscow will not burn. 5 exhausted Russian men have done what an entire army never could.